So many of us evoke a certain image when we hear the word hunger. But by working with Second Harvest Food Bank, I have discovered that the reality is probably not what we imagine. In fact, of the 300,000 meals delivered each and every day, they are delivered to families whose parents have not only one, but two or even three or more paying jobs and simply do not make enough to pay rent, electricity, water, medical bills, clothing, and still provide nutritious meals for their family. I got the chance to sit down with one woman who's made it her mission to use her arts and talents to help alleviate hunger in Central Florida. And you'll never guess who she learned how to use her community for a purpose from. Psst, her friend, Jimmy Buffett. So come along with me now as we explore and confront the monster of hunger and what we can do to help alleviate it.
I'm Beth McKee. I'm a singer-songwriter. I call myself a community cultivator because in recent years, or I would say over the past decade, I've begun to do work in the community as an artist and a musician that in a way that kind of brings other artists and musicians together to do good things. My background is I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I have musical roots all over the South. From time spent in Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as well as living here in Florida now for 20 plus years. I've been reflecting a fair amount lately on the beginnings of my musical career and how that kind of launched itself. Went out on the road as part of a tour for an all-female group that was supporting a harmonica player named Fingers Taylor, who was in Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer Band. So we went out one summer and opened for Jimmy, and as part of this all-female band, and I went from like playing for $50 a night, to I'm opening for Jimmy Buffett, Immediately after I came home from that tour, I moved to New Orleans and joined another all-female band called Evangeline. And so we wound up signing a record deal with Jimmy because he had a label called Margaritaville Records. And we recorded and released the album, and we went out on summer tour with him because I told them we should make that a condition of our contract because it was so good. And I sent a song through the pipeline to Jimmy that I had written, my first song, like actual real song. I had written and recorded on a little 4-track recorder, and it was called Elvis of the Night. And I didn't even send it through the record company. I sent it through the road manager. Will you get this to Jimmy? A cassette. It was a long time ago. And then the next day, the record company president was at the show, and he said, I saw what you did, and Jimmy loves it. He wants you to record it. And the fact that he believed in me was a big eye-opener for me, made me think, oh, maybe I can do this a little bit. Maybe I can call myself a musician now, and a songwriter. So I'm very grateful to him.
So Jimmy not only helped Beth with her musical career, but he also showed her how to use her community for good.
I will say that he inspired me in the way of using your music to do good things and using your music to build community, because the whole Parrot Head thing, which just kind of freaked me out at the time. Like, what is this? I don't know. My eyes were open and I saw how people came together and enjoy being together, and that, the concert and the event was bigger than the sum of its parts. It was a feel-good vibe, and it's like, I want to do that at my shows or in my efforts or whatever I'm putting on. So I learned a lot.
So making the decision to use her music for good seemed like a natural fit for Beth, because growing up on the Gulf Coast, she always felt a calling to help.
I will say that growing up, I didn't have a lot of female role models as live musicians. I mean, beyond like Tina Turner, rock star, which is a great role model, but I didn't see women around me playing music, especially in bars or, you know, writing songs and that kind of stuff. So I did miss out on a role model or knowing that I could do it. You know, oh, I can do this, you know, look, I can do it. So I think I kind of got a late start with that. But again, I feel there are so many people, and especially growing up in Mississippi where I grew up, I saw unfairness from the very time that I could even grok the concept. And it's always broken my heart. And I've always felt a responsibility to do what I can to even things out. And I think that's what has kind of led me down the path that I've been on, which has been integrating my creative efforts and my music and my songwriting and just my creative energy into building a community of artists and creatives and friends to gather people with a common goal. I started a little tiny foundation called the Swamp Sisters La La Foundation. We're a 501c3 nonprofit official, and we have a bifold mission of supporting artists with an emphasis on women and artists from marginalized communities. And the other half of our mission is community service. So usually that translates into throwing a big party. So we call them La-Las, and a La-La is a party with a purpose, where musicians gather and friends dance, and everybody just chips in what they can for a community cause. So we've hosted over a dozen La-Las over the past 10, 12, 13 years for various causes. And one of those consistent causes and organizations has been childhood summer hunger, that we've partnered with Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida, because they do such a wonderful job of taking dollars and turning it into a lot of full bellies in the community, and I really love supporting them.
So by partnering with a nonprofit that is dedicated to making change in our community, Beth has discovered that her La-Las can have a real impact.
Well, I will say that working with Second Harvest Food Bank has been a joy and a pleasure and a big ego boost, because when we've organized La-Las with them, they get on 1,000, they get right in there. They use our event, you know, and they reach out to their crowd and their following and their lists and push hard. And so honestly, I sometimes I felt unworthy, and I learned so much from them, from that team, of how to raise money and how to, you know, be nice and how to be in the nonprofit world and how to get things done and still always be so lovely. I just can't even express how wonderful that whole team is. One year, I think they would do matching. They'll find a matching donor and stuff. One year we raised I don't know, maybe, I can't remember the highest, but I think it was over $75,000. And I felt like a fraud. Like I didn't do that, you know, and I didn't. We all did together, but it was certainly, collectively, I think we've raised over $250,000 for Second Harvest, you know, with our little La-Las, just building here and there and here and there, and some big ones. So I'm very grateful.
So I'd like to thank Beth for sharing her story with us and showing how we all can make a difference by using the talents that we have. If you'd like more information on Swamp Sisters, or would like to attend one of their upcoming parties with a purpose, check out their website at swampsistas.org. You know, like Beth, I am also using my art to try and make a difference. I've also partnered with Second Harvest Food Bank because, you know, Central Florida is my home, it's my passion, and helping out our neighbors is probably the best thing that we can strive to do. If you want to help, you can come to my upcoming art gallery show at Mills Gallery, where my art is going to be on display. You'll see artwork by Jim Hobart as well as Kelly Graham. We've got some special in-gallery performances from Phantasmagoria. Don Price will be there, Rafael Cavero, so a little something for everybody. The Pinery is graciously providing a cocktail and wine bar, so it should be an amazing time. So it opens on October 20th. I hope to see you there.